Alrighty. We are back with episode 39. We are back to our normal type of podcast, type of special episode. Um, we do have some information we'll be sharing today. We're kind of playing a little catch up and uh, just trying to get into the swing of things. It might be a little short, might be a little long. I really don't know. We'll see. Um, I personally have something to share in a little bit, but before we do that, we'll probably just do some talking a little bit before that. Kevin, how's it going?
It's going. It's going. The snow started flying today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. They were calling for an inch of just flurries and things like that, but it really started sticking.
Mm.
Um, you know, people people need to remember how to drive again sometimes in the
Oh
winter,
boy.
You see a little bit of the swerving and stuff going on. So I'm gonna
Nice.
stay home. I'm gonna sit tight.
Hmm.
But no, things are good. Like you said, just kind of getting back into the groove a little bit. We we missed last week. That was my fault. Had some family stuff pop up. Needed to get squared away. Um, but it gave us some time to kind of reflect a little bit and figure out what we want to do, where we want to take the show, what we want to get into a little bit, how we want to structure things again. We had our tutorial, and it did well, and we kind of learned a lot due to the fact that it was updated.
Hmm.
And I think it's time to see what else we can get into with it and see again where we kind of want to take things for the direction of the show. But other than
Yeah.
that, I really didn't have too much. Kind of trying to catch up on some TV shows now that it's getting colder. So
Yeah.
I might talk about that a little bit too. There was some movie called Black Panther, if you've
Mm.
heard of it.
Yeah. Black
That
Panther.
came out.
Yeah, that was
So
good. I really enjoyed it.
yeah. Now, were you like the first person into the theater? Were you the first,
No,
like
no.
right in there? You were in
Mm-mm.
costume though, right?
I think um, so. That was Veterans Day.
Yeah, yeah.
I was actually wearing a Marine Corps shirt on, so it was.
There you go.
I
There
was
you go.
not in costume. I have my Hawkeye shirt on today, just randomly
Nice,
because this
nice.
is nice and warm. But and then I think it was on Sunday I wore my Marvel sweatshirt. So
There you go.
I was in the I'm in the still in the mood, Marvel
Mhm.
mood, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess without any spoilers, then what would you rate it out of 10?
Okay,
10 out
so Black Panther.
Anytime we talk about this, you have to start with okay, so, and then it begins.
Yeah,
So
I know.
yeah.
But Black Panther is the first one is better. So we'll
Okay.
put Black Panther. I don't ever like to do a perfect score, so we'll put Black Panther at a 9, just because
Okay.
I don't like
Makes sense.
perfect scores.
Right.
Um, Although I do that. Never mind. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna say a 9 for Black Panther. I would say uh, Black Panther 2 is an 8.5.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So it's
It's on my
good.
weekend.
It's not better than the first one, at
Okay.
least in my point of view. Um,
Hmm.
but I can't say anything because it would spoil something. It's like there's so many spoilers to that movie. You have to just see it. So
Yeah.
I can't talk
Yeah.
about anything that's in the movie. Yeah.
No worries. No worries. Tell me, was Alexa in it?
Um, I think it was.
For real? For real? Any
I
voice tech?
I'm
Anything?
I'm I'm think either it was in that or another movie I just watched recently. But
Okay. Okay.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was in some movie I've seen recently. It was
Yeah.
like a an echo, I think, what I saw, not the actual
Right.
Alexa.
Right.
I
Nice.
can now say that without setting off any of my devices because I changed it to Ziggy. Oh crap! No, I
Oh
just.
yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go. Huh.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, that's interesting because I was thinking about that the other day and like how technology has progressed. Like if you remember, uh, I watched a little bit of Star Trek with my dad,
Mhm.
and that kind of got me into Star Wars, and that got me into like the fantasy and the sci-fi and whatever. But I remember watching Patrick Stewart as Captain Picard there, and he would talk to his like he'd start off every episode or maybe the end of the episode with like star date something something, and he'd have like this voiceover thing, and it almost felt like he was voice journaling, right?
Mhm.
But it was kind of a monologue. And then in some of the episodes, they'd say something like "computer, uh,
Mhm.
turn
Yep.
on da 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 da,"
Yep.
and that was that was back in well, I don't know, 70s, even earlier, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so now we actually have that capability, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Same thing with their communicators and cell phones and whatnot. So it's always neat to see that kind of that parallel or that transition into from science fiction into real world,
Yep. For sure.
and being that, and I'm bringing this back into to Black Panther too, in that Wakanda is kind of this like futuristic,
Yeah.
super tech heavy. It's always neat to see something like that, and how a futuristic society or what have you would implement voice into their day to day, if you didn't have any of today's restrictions on it.
Mhm.
So,
Obviously,
yeah,
they
kind
have
of
their
neat.
own AI, which they heavily used in the movie. Um,
Okay.
but they're like, um, I think they said something about how it is not a AI like you would think, and it's not going to take over the world or something like that. They
It's
mentioned
not all
something
Trump.
about that, and I
Yeah.
think that it was at a hint towards Ultron, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, I had that kind of thought this week and kind of thinking of, what problems does that solve, and almost the whole developer looking for a problem to solve kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, invention necessity is the mother of all inventions, right? You've heard that little quip.
Hmm.
But I was looking for things that weren't really necessary, but would just kind of be cool. Something I could do to implement like that. So
Nice.
yeah, I didn't really come up with anything solid, and I've, I got a whole list. There's a whiteboard over here. I've
Okay.
got a whole list of things that started. Some started, some not started, and some just abandoned. But
Yeah.
I've got some things. Um,
So you
but
didn't want to try out a game?
so yeah, that's something I need to do. That really is something I need to do. Something particular, something
Yeah.
not trivia, not
No. I mean, I have
something that's
tons of
really pushing it.
ideas I could give you because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be starting a new game anytime soon. I have plenty of work on my plate, but I have plenty of ideas that you could just run with, and
Yeah.
it does creating a game. I One thing that I like about it is you have to think outside the box because creating a game for voice is totally different than creating a controller game. computer game,
Right.
whatever. Um, so you have to think outside the box, and you get your head spinning. You have to try to work things, make things work, and make it easy for the user. It's great. I love making games for voice, and
Mhm.
I mean, if you just want something really that makes your head or not head spin, but the wheels turning in your head, uh, a game is definitely a way to go. But
Yeah.
if you have like a really good use case for it, go ahead, run with it. But yeah,
Mhm.
I just I love making games, so I'm
Yeah.
not trying to push it
And
off on you or anything. But
no, no. See, that's actually a really good thing because when you're making a game, and if you're making a game uh, as a solo developer, right? Unless you are buying all of these assets or paying potential voice actors
yeah.
or what have you, you need to learn these skills,
Hmm.
right? You need to learn a little bit of graphic design. You
Yep.
need to learn a little bit of just user interface. Uh, I tend to think of this as front end type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
You really need to know this stuff, and so I think a game would really help me take these small pieces that I'm familiar with and really bring them into one cohesive puzzle piece
Nice.
or puzzle. I take
Yeah.
all these pieces of the puzzle and put them together.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I'm kind of going to spoil it a little bit with my bean of the week, and we're jumping all around. We're almost hitting the refresh button a little bit, but I've been working with Lightroom. Are you
Hmm.
familiar with Lightroom at all, Will?
Yeah. Hmm.
Some? Okay. I mean, Adobe has so many different products. There's like Photoshop and Illustrator and everything. Well, I was trying to be more active with my DSLR camera, and
Hmm.
so I really wanted to edit things more. So I've been focusing on outdoor photography. So
Nice.
basically, I take 3 steps outside and turn left, and this there's like 12 acres of woods right in front of me. So then I take 2 more steps, and then I start taking pictures. So I wanted to make them better, and there's a lot to that,
Yeah.
And so not only setting up your shot, your composition, looking for certain lines, almost creating a story out of just a bunch of trees, but the other part of that is just the editing, understanding colors and what colors kind of go together,
Hmm.
different lighting and hues and all of that. And all of that stuff can directly translate to the visuals of a game,
Hmm.
even a voice game, you know. So, and you've done this with your uh, Space Marauders skill in particular, or game in particular, with your background, and then you have a layer on top of. I guess it's backwards for me. So you have your background, which is maybe a beach or whatever,
Hmm.
and then you have your character on top of that, and you have to kind of balance all those different layers and lightings and making sure one's not overpowering the other and sizes and things. So I
While we're
definitely see
talking
where.
about that, I think this is a good transition period
Sure, sure.
to what I was going to show off.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. Nice.
and that is my powers, my newest powers look for the
Okay.
fighting mode. Now, I don't have too much going on here.
Mhm.
I have two of the same character, and they are doing the same exact animation animation. um, and you'll see that in a minute. And I also, to go with the layering, this image, this background image, is actually a video that I took
Oh, okay.
within Unity. I created. Well, I
Mm,
also purchased this scene here that we're looking at.
yep.
Um, that and I so far I have two shots from this scene, so I'm pretty happy that I got two shots, and I'll show them. And this one was pretty easy because like the background is way far away, and then they're standing on a platform, uh, way up in the
Hmm.
sky, and so that was pretty simple to do. But the I have a street one which I'll show in a minute. Um, it was very hard, and you'll see why in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to refresh this, and you can see that there's cars zooming past in the background, and
See
then
that.
the guys did some wobbling and attack. Um, so I all the animations are I have like I think five or six animations for each character, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
create like these. So I take the animations and then create actual animations because like this attack one was an idle animation plus an attack animation. So I took two animations and made them into one animation, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and I'm gonna have them all in like one document that I would then call that I if I have Kerrigan on the screen, and I will at launch it'll just be an idle animation. Why can't I say animation today? Animation, and then when you do an attack, it will change the animation to that attack animation.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so it's like me hitting this play button, and it will do the attack.
Hmm.
Okay, so the other one is called Streets 4. So this is one that was really hard to do. So you're like you were saying with the camera. I was doing
Yeah.
that within this scene. I was
Hmm.
messing with the angles, yeah, the angles, the aperture width, or how
Right.
far away it is, and
Yep. Your perspective. Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was messing with that. I have probably six videos I took because I kept on taking videos. I don't know why I didn't take screenshots, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Uh, I was just kept on taking videos and trying to figure this out. Finally, I was pretty happy with this point of view on the street because we have this street in the background, right? And then we have this
Right.
closer street going to the left. And it was just not looking proper. And I can kind of show you with my other views. I
Right.
think number two is pretty because they look like giants in this scene. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I also want to point out so we see this scene right here. I actually went through all the assets in this scene and changed them to be more matching the characters themselves. Before it looked
Okay.
like this. So
Training
it
time.
was more uh, more raw, more realistic view, and
Hmm.
now they're more uh, cell shading. Um, so I think that's
I
it.
gotcha.
So going
Neat.
back to that, yeah. So I put a lot of work into this, but it was really fun. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy with this. So yeah, I have already two scenes now that are going to be animated videos um, that will just play in the background of while you're fighting. So this is a way up uh, of my last edition, whatever version. There we go. My
Version. Yep.
last version of Powers. Uh, I didn't have animations on the characters, and B, it was just stock photos that I found on Pexels. Uh, uh,
Hmm.
so they're like realistic photos taken.
Yeah.
So it never looked right. But I think like the feet look well or great on here. Same with the sky. Um, Going back to the sky 3, I think it was. Yeah. So sky placement on this scene as well was pretty good. So the only thing I wanted to say about this is this Orion right back here. I
Hmm.
actually just got done with making Powers asset to go on this building. So it'll
Okay.
say Powers, and then I'm not sure. Either I'm going to change this image to say Space Marauders and then have the
Uh
Space
huh.
Marauders
Uh-huh.
logo, or I'm gonna do with keep with the Powers theme. But I think I want to have a little Space Marauders in here as well. So
I like it. I like it. A little universe,
hmm
tied together, little Easter egg type of thing. Um,
right,
almost like some advertisement. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly, and
Uh,
that's kind of what that's supposed to be is an advertisement for Orion Technologies. So, and then also
that's awesome.
this scene would make it more my scene instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the
Well,
one I purchased.
that almost makes me wonder here. I know you'd mentioned we wanted to talk about something else, and this might be a good segue. Is that Amazon Associates
Hmm.
to earn revenue and things? So there's that shopping kit, right?
Hmm.
So if you had if you had that Space Marauders background in there, and or even um, so let's say you have a Space Marauders cell phone case, right? And if you could sell that through your, could you technically sell that through your skill?
Yes, as long as
So
I have it on Amazon, which
that would be my question, right?
I
Right.
have only T-shirts for Space Marauders made, but I also could make T-shirts for Powers too. And then yes, I could sell any of my. Actually, you can sell anything on there.
Anything on Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, anything on Amazon. And but uh, I mean, why would you sell a I don't know a water bottle that says Alexa Live uh,
Yeah,
for one of your skills. You wouldn't. You'd want to tie it into, and that I have thought about doing that, and that
yeah.
is a good, like you said, a good a transition. This is Amazon Associates on Alexa, so I was an Amazon associate, but they like drop your thing if you don't sell anything. So I'm hoping
Oh,
on Alexa. I haven't read all the fine details in this article. I just kind of skimmed it.
mhm.
But I'm hoping that uh, that you I totally blanked what I was trying to say. Uh, what was I talking about?
So with the so it was back in July 2022
Mm-hmm.
when, like, actually during the live event, when they talked about the Alexa shopping kit, and that included a bunch of things that allowed developers to monetize their skill a little bit better. Like, there
Yep.
was the discovery aspect, and you could purchase things without having to leave the skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they announced, was this yesterday's article? Yes. Yeah, yesterday's.
So
So
yeah, yep, the 14th.
so they introduced another aspect of the shopping kit called Amazon Associates on Alexa, correct?
Correct.
And this just means that you can be an associate seller through that skill. Is that
Through
Am I
any of
thinking
your
about this
skills.
correctly? Right.
Yeah.
So, do you
So
have a good example of how that would work for you?
that would be ideally like if I had actual cards for Cards of Wonder, I could be selling those. Uh,
Mm,
or if I have mats I made for Cards of Wonder, I could be selling those as well. Um, uh, like I said, the T-shirts that I have on Amazon, I could
hmm
sell. Um, I don't have anything here, but I have my Tales of Old T-shirt,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and then Space Marauders T-shirt. Both. Yeah, there you
Uh-huh.
go. With that logo on it, and then Space Marauders. Both of them, I could then sell within my games. Um,
Gotcha.
Space Marauders would be ideally for Space Marauders. So maybe like if you're in the Emporium, I might be like, hey, did you know that we also have real merchandise available? You can purchase it through Amazon. Would you like to know more? Something like that to
Right.
upsell
Right.
them to uh, um, buy the actual merchandise.
Right.
Um,
A physical item. Yeah.
the what they talked about at Alexa Live is a like a yoga skill, um, selling yoga mats,
hmm
so you can be all prepared while using the yoga skill and whatnot.
Right.
Um,
Right. Which makes sense. I mean, if you can tie those together, um, and then you get a percentage of that. So, I mean, that's always good, especially to build a brand or grow a business. Um,
yep.
I wouldn't, I guess I could see it both ways too. In the fact of, if you have a brand or you have a physical store, you could utilize a voice skill to supplement the physical, right? Or you could vice versa, and like you said, you have this game, and now you can buy physical cards, or you could buy a T-shirt to show that support for that game or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You see this all the time, a Mario shirt or a Legend of Zelda shirt or a Marvel shirt, what have you.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, I mean, you could be a comic reseller, right? And you could have an unofficial Marvel trivia skill, and if you like this trivia, here's this comic that goes with that trivia or what have you,
Yeah.
something. But the potential's there. Potential's there.
I didn't even think about that.
But
That's pretty smart.
I'm just a genius. That's what it is. So, uh, but yeah, it's something that's neat, and it's nice to see that they are pushing this and building upon it because they did have the groundwork laid for it, and now it's actually coming to fruition, which is
Yep,
nice.
for sure.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So I did
But
share the link in the chat. Check it out. If you have some great ideas and like to share with us your ideas, um, let us know. If you are looking for ideas for your skill and you can't figure out what to sell on it and you really want to use this, let us know that as well. I actually forgot to send out a um, my Discord link, which is right here. Um, I have been promoting our Discord, Tales of Old Discord. Please come in there and chat. We I'm always around, so you can always chat with me out there. Also, Kevin is there as well. It is not as
yeah,
specific between two beans, but we do have a channel for between two beans. I created it the other week. Um,
perfect.
I don't think we have posted anything in it yet, but hey, it's there. So yeah, give it a look or and go in there and see what's going on.
Sure.
I wanted to
So I
see
guess along.
what else was in this skill kit, if there was anything. Just skimming over it, it doesn't look like it. I think this was the next thing to come out of that. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, if you want to jump into between or being of the week.
Yeah, if you want to do that, go for it. We'll jump into yours. I had brought up Lightroom already, but yeah, if you had yours, that's fine.
Certainly. So mine is actually is another Unity sale, but I actually already purchased some stuff from the sale. It is a limited Black Friday sale until I don't remember, but it's 50% off a lot of great Unity things. Um,
Nice, nice.
One of the things that is in here was the cell shading tool I used to convert all my materials to cell shading
Hmm.
instead of the more realistic. Um, I have a lot of stuff that's already in here. I see, but I have a lot of Unity assets. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Can you
Um,
ever have too many?
no, you can't. I didn't say too many though. um, ooh, I just found another one that I might look into. But anyways, so there's many great assets from 3D assets to tools. Like I said, that what it was called. Oh, right there. It's I didn't even have to go anywhere. It was right there. It's called Flat Kit.
Okay.
So it turns
Nice.
any material into cell shading. There's many different types of cell shading that you want, whatever ones, whatever one you want. Can't speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just for this sale that I wanted to share.
Nice. Nice. So how did you learn Unity? Do you just go through and you have a goal and then you just follow the docs for what you're trying to accomplish? Or
Yeah. So
okay.
uh, I've I started Unity back in when I was in college for software development.
Okay.
Um, I had a 3D modeling class, and at the end of that class, we did a game. So um, me and three other people made a game with
Nice.
Unity. So I pretty much just kept on doing free tutorials. There's tutorials everywhere, um,
Yeah.
but there's uh, mostly like the free tutorials definitely helped. Um, but yeah, yeah,
Okay.
there's so many.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
actually oh no, that's Unity. I can't. There was a Humble Bundle on Unity
Mm.
instead of not Unity, Unreal.
Oh, okay. Right. 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 Yeah. That's what I've been doing as far as some of this video or photo editing with Lightroom is just tutorials. Um,
Nice.
I've been watching a couple YouTube things of photographers and how they set up some of their stuff, and then they'll go back and they'll edit some of their photos, and they'll be like, "Boy, I wish lighting was a little bit better here." And there's so many tools and shaders and sliders and whatchamacallits and thingamazoos that you can just adjust, right?
Uh huh.
And to me, like, if you don't mind, let's go to the one second here. I gotta switch. If you don't mind, go to lightroom.adobe.com.
Yeah, I got pulled up.
Oh, perfect. I'm looking at an ad on Twitch. There we go. But if you see that, there's like you can actually try if you see the picture of with the dog. Let me switch over
The
to
dog. Okay.
okay, you
Yep.
don't have.
Oh, oh, you can actually
Do
try
you
it.
have? Yes, you can actually
Wow.
do it. So, and like if you mess with some of these, like exposure, I can tell exactly what exposure does, right? But some of these changes, I don't know what it's doing. It looks like it's getting darker and lighter, right? But once you go through these tutorials
Wow, that's
and you
cool.
actually see what it's doing and what it's actually affecting on that raw file, it it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So, um, I've I'm taking a master class. So if you're familiar with that site,
Hmm.
Masterclass,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a Udemy or
Hmm.
I guess like a Code Academy and stuff like that, but specifically for photo editing. So pretty neat, but a really cool tool that I've been using. And as a developer, you're always learning something, right? You're always spending
Hmm.
time learning something new, right? So I feel like I pick up these kinds of things fairly easily, and it's kind of nice to be able to become almost competent with it. So,
Very neat.
but speaking of becoming almost competent, as far as our show, right, Between Two Beans, we've been going for 39 episodes now, which a year almost, right? I think we started this like the second or third week of January.
Hmm.
I'll have to go back and check. But originally, when we started this, you had approached me and you're like, "Hey, you wanna?" And I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." And then, we came up with this concept and we came up with these show segments,
Hmm.
and it helped keep us organized. It helped keep us really in the field, up to date on all the latest news. Because I don't know about you, but I would scour and I'd look at like three, four, five different news articles and be like, which one do I want to talk about? Which
Hmm.
one do I feel like affects me the most or has the most weight to it? That kind of thing.
Hmm.
And same thing with then getting into a deep dive on something else or just testing out some new skills that are out there, what we like, what we didn't like, what we could take inspiration from, what we would probably leave on the table. But What are your thoughts, Will? Do you like this format that we have? Do you think we need to change it up? If anybody in chat or watching in the future this video has any suggestions, let us know. But any thoughts, Will? Any thoughts on what you would do differently or how you would change things if you wanted to?
Well, first off, I definitely do like the our segments.
Mhm.
I do want to try to get more back into testing other skills and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, or playing other skills.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would like to do a little bit more of that. Um, that'd
Okay.
be that'd be fun. Um, and yeah, I think as long as we have at least some type of news or a conversation or both
Right.
about something related to voice or loosely related tech wise.
Yep.
I think that is ideal. And then yeah, maybe like play a game or test a skill. Um, I think that definitely would be great to get back to, um,
I agree.
and
I agree.
do.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Yeah.
So I think the news part of it is important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes it's either feast or famine. Something will come out of a conference or a an announcement is
Mm-hmm.
dropped by one of these companies and it's significant. It's big news. Other times things are a little bit slower. That
Mm-hmm.
we're finding an article that's maybe 2 or 3 weeks old, something that was a runner up to another article. We had two that we couldn't pick between, so we just
Yeah.
went back and picked the other one this time. So, but I do think it's important to because this field does move very quickly. New features are being added, documentation is being updated, things like that. I do think it's important that we keep that the front end of the show there.
Yeah.
Um, I do
I
think that
agree.
that's pretty important. Kind of keep everybody up to date and whatnot. Because sometimes news things slip through the cracks too.
Yeah.
Um, there could be something that I heard that you didn't, or
Right.
vice versa. So I do think that's a good idea to keep up with that. I do like being able to showcase some skills. We did have a little stint there where we did some developer not reviews, but
Mm-hmm.
interviews,
Yes.
and a little
Yeah.
bit of those reviews if they weren't able to jump on the show. And I really enjoyed those. Being able
I
to
agree.
pick people's brain and just get a feel for what others are doing in the community, how they're adding to the community, things like that. Really, really cool. And being able to see that they're a normal person, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like us, you know, and they have hobbies outside of code sometimes, most of the time. But it was good. I enjoyed those. I think those, if we could line up a few of those a couple times throughout the year or what have you, just to kind of break things up or get another perspective on something, I think is fantastic. So if you're willing and want to, we'd be more than happy to have you on. Um, we
I
always had our what's up?
Oxygen Box said more cowbell. I have no idea what he's talking about.
More cowbell. More cowbell. Well, we need sound effects, we need
Okay.
something. I do have a it's upstairs. It's upstairs. I do have a cowbell. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So um yeah, I do have one. My there's a whole story there I'll get into someday. But yeah, so I do like that format. and structure of the show that we have in place, I think that it makes us fairly well rounded.
Hmm.
Um, gives us some talking points, gives us some things to really break down or go back and forth on. Um, I think we've nailed down a lot of our technical issues that we had before as well. Sometimes we had some issues where
We'll
sound
see.
and whatnot, but that's a thing, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if we can track down some developers, and if we can look at some skills, do a couple reviews, give them some feedback, good, bad, ugly, all that.
Hmm.
I think that's good.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
we've also we've also had our bean of the week that we usually pick, and I always enjoy doing those. Um, those are kind of neat to come up with
Hmm.
and talk about and kind of break down a little bit too.
Yeah.
Not always tech related, but usually we are. That seems to be our thing,
Yeah.
or whatnot. So
Hmm.
I do like that.
I do. I agree.
Yeah. But if anyone, like before, ever has any comments, questions, anything like that that we can do to improve, or something that you would like to see, we are definitely flexible and more than happy to kind of do some things.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know whether I should click that. I wonder if I'm
I
gonna get
I will
rickrolled.
watch that later, Oxygen Box.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I think there's gonna
uh,
be a rickroll in there somewhere, cowbell version. So,
but
but yeah.
yeah.
So on that note, what else do you have lined up the rest of the year? Our schedules. I know the holidays are coming up, and maybe there might be some travel. I do have a vacation coming up too, unless you want
Okay.
to see me streaming from Disney World.
Hey, why not?
Just saying, Mickey Mouse in the background.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
your schedule looks like. If you have anything on the plate.
So next week I still have open,
Okay.
which I just want to throw this out there for those who are developers and watch the office hours. I'll be on office hours next Tuesday at 11 Central or 10 Eastern,
12 Eastern. 12
12
Eastern.
Eastern,
Yep. Yep.
12 Eastern. So yeah, join us
Nice.
for
Nice.
that. Um, but I will be available next Tuesday because I'll be doing that in the morning or the
Yeah.
afternoon, and then later on, obviously, and then up until like Christmas time,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think I'm okay. So
Yeah. That sounds good. I think I have maybe the second week of December that might throw a wrench into things, but unless I fire up the webcam from what's supposed to be the happiest place in the world, we'll find out.
it
So
is pretty happy. It is.
yeah.
But yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we might do like a one or two in December, and then probably just call it for the year. Um,
Yeah.
and we'll be back on in the new year. So um, look for those on whatever you watch this on. I have been getting back into the habit of posting this on YouTube and Spotify. So if you watch on either of them, um, they are coming. Usually, it's a day after we air this on Twitch. So,
Perfect.
uh,
Perfect.
yeah, thank you everyone for watching. If you want to reach out to me, best way is to either on PM me on Twitch or on the Discord. Jump into our Discord. I'm also on, if you're on the Alexa Slack channel, you can also reach me on there as well. Uh,
Perfect.
so,
Perfect.
Kevin, you have any last things?
I really don't. just want to say that this was a really good stream to kind of regroup, just talk about a couple off-brand things, and kind of tie a couple things together, and just be able to put our next foot forward.
Yep.
So looking forward to where we go from here, and feel free to spread the word. And if you ever want to have a conversation, yeah, why don't we push that Discord a little bit more, and I'll be hanging out in there. So
Sounds good.
uh, I can use gifts in there, so
Yeah,
I'm
that's
I'm
true.
all for that. So yeah,
Alrighty.
we'll have that. So
All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care and till next week. Bye, everyone.
take care, everybody.